Hello!
And welcome to Star Wars Hour on the Star Wars Network. I'm Rich Alvarez, joined also by the lovely D-Rock.
Sweet.
Which we just realized the mic was in the wrong place.
Microphone.
Fun.
Sorry, everyone. Right? Josh is like, what? And I'm like, oh, sorry. We have been up to some fun shenanigans, which have been mostly consisted of planning. Some additional planning for this network, and maybe even a new network.
You guys may have noticed that the first episode of Star Wars Rebels Abridged is on the channel, and it's already the most viewed thing on this channel, doubling the total views of this channel.
Yes, yes. Hey, look, it is Rich Alvarez. Is this YouTube's Rich Alvarez? Yes, it is.
Whoa, YouTube's Rich Alvarez on a different channel.
Yep. And just want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen it yet, don't go away. Or do it. I don't actually give a shit. You can go away or you can stay here. Go watch Rebels. I voiced way more characters than I've ever probably done funny voices in my life. And I had an absolute blast. I am so happy Rich let me take a part of this, because I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You guys should check it out. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But, man, it has been, as always, an incredible week for Star Wars news and gossip and rumors. Many of which stems from them finally, they're supposed to reveal all of the Star Wars toys at the Toy Fair. But, they got a little excited, and there's been some leaks. We've seen toys of the Black Series action figures, including a detailed look at the new Stormtrooper, as well as what the Millennium Falcon looks like. It's not just pretty colors, guys. It actually looks significantly different, and we're going to take a look at that in a second. We've heard some stuff from Matthew Wood in the sound department. We've heard some stuff through the rumor mill about some other stuff. D-Rock, you have other things I'm forgetting?
Yes, I do, because that's why I wrote it down. I wanted to wish Anthony Daniels, I know you're not watching, or are you? C-3PO, you shiny son of a gun. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It is Anthony Daniels' birthday today. Let's see here. What do you want to start with? Because there's 1,000 different things. Do you want to start with Rebels info, since that's what we've been doing this week?
I will. I will also preface it once again by saying you guys are welcome to comment and talk to each other. And if we see something we really like, we might just get impatient and answer it. But generally speaking, like always, we're going to talk for about 40 minutes and then save the last 10 to 20 minutes at the end to answer your live questions right here on YouTube. And if you're not watching this live, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will probably respond, because we love doing that stuff.
Yes, that is a absolute great time. Now, if you really want us to answer your question, whether that be about really anything, remember to use Super Chat. Super Chat is a new thing YouTube is pushing, but I actually kind of like it. If you want to put yourself right to the top and make us answer your question at the end of this, go ahead and use that Super Chat.
That's right. And no, I'm just going to answer this right now. It's not just blue, guys. The Millennium Falcon looks different, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
Rebels. Okay. So the first half of Season 4, the first half of Season 4 happened last year, and that was, really cool. Because usually Rebels episodes, it's for the most part, they're kind of episodic, individual stories that kind of loosely tie up. There's been, some double episodes and so on. Man, Season 4, when it started last year, it was oh, man, we're finally getting that overarching, thing where it's every episode leads into the next. It's too bad this is the last season, because it's getting really good. And it was good before, but man, is it really good right now.
I know.
And then on Monday night, the first episode of the second half of Season 4 premiered, and some crazy stuff happened. And because this is Star Wars Hour, I'm going to talk about it just a little bit.
Yes.
I know that we mostly talk about movie news here, but this is, guys, if you're not watching Star Wars Rebels, it is so important that you watch Star Wars Rebels. Dave Filoni, the creator of Star Wars Rebels, says that this ending is going to connect to Rogue One, of course, because we saw the ghost in the Battle of Scarif, and it's also going to connect somehow to the Last Jedi somehow. So we're gonna find out something about that too. But okay, so spoiler warning: if you don't want to be spoiled, just mute your speakers until I do this. And that's when you know the spoilers are over.
And I'll do this.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how you'll know it's over.
So, you've had your spoiler warning. Okay.
Spoil me, Rich, because I have not watched it.
Okay, so from the beginning of the show, it is some Jedi, of course, survived Order 66, and we know through canon that over the last 20 or however many years it is between Episode 3 and Episode 4, that Darth Vader spent his time hunting down and destroying those remaining Jedi Knights.
Yes.
However, Kanan survived because he was just a Padawan at the time, and kind of lived just as he's been living, just kind of like as a this rogue kind of guy, working with the rebels and so on with Hera. And, his Jedi-ness went really under the radar, and then they found Ezra, in the first episode, and he was Force-sensitive, so he trained Ezra as his Padawan. And it was like this Padawan that never became a Jedi Knight teaching a new Padawan. So they are very, very untraditional. Of course, they go on many adventures doing things that Jedi wouldn't normally do, right?
Like saving the Emperor's cup noodle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if you're watching the abridged series, then yeah. So anyways, Kanan... he's been through some stuff. I'm sorry, I know that you're not there either.
That's okay. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. That's why I'm here.
Man, this guy has really been through the ringer. Darth Maul blinded him at the end of the second season. He's been blind for 2 seasons. Him and Ezra had that really awesome fight with Darth Vader.
Yes. And
then Vader fought Ahsoka, and Ahsoka died. So now we're here in season 4, and Kanan had this awesome thing where he was going in to save, because Hera got kidnapped. So he goes in all heroically to save Hera. They all went in as a team, and at the last minute, the Imperials got really desperate. They're like, we just have to kill this guy, and they shot missiles into their own fuel tanks, destroying their entire fuel for the planet of Lawful just to kill Kanan. And he used the last bit of Force energy he had left to push his friends away, and then just exploded, and he is now dead. He is D-E-D dead. Sorry again, but I don't think it really is that much of a spoiler because you need to see it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like what they're doing with the Solo film. You kind of know how it ends anyways, because all of this is precursors to what we see later.
Right.
So it's just about the journey. It's not necessarily about the story.
Yeah, and Kanan, before he got offed, was throwing stormtroopers out of windows, and it was like more violence than Disney XD should allow. But again, they know what they signed up for when they put a Star Wars show on there.
Yep.
I mean, just killing stormtroopers is his thing.
I've been murdered.
Lots of those aren't clones; those are like recruits. They're dying left and right. But it was, Kanan went out in this incredible way, and then the Force-sensitive, maybe, Lothwolves were talking to Ezra, and, they gave him some insights, and, the name of the big wolf was Doom, and, which was Kanan's birth name, so, what does that mean? We don't really know.
Rich, that's why you're here. You're supposed to tell me what it means.
Yeah. Well, we don't know yet. And Ahsoka... I think she's coming back I think Ahsoka and Kanan and some other people are going to be coming as Force ghosts because the last episode we know is called Reunion. So
Ahsoka's my girl. so good.
I think that
she's Clone Wars one, right? Or am I getting confused?
She was the apprentice in Clone Wars.
I watched all of Clone Wars.
Yeah. So, as we know, there is no Ezra Bridger in the original trilogy. Correct. So, I feel like, and we know that Palpatine's coming in pretty soon. I feel like Ezra will and he will have an epic fight with Palpatine and then probably die. And I will get back to you on that as soon as this whole show is over. But man, I was like on the edge of my seat, like freaking out. It was probably the best episode of Rebels ever, and that's after I thought we already had the best episode of Rebels ever. The mid-season finale last year for the first half of season 4 was probably a space battle to compete with some of the better space battles in the movies too.
Dang.
Like Hera, who usually flies the Ghost, got in an X-wing and was doing all kinds of crazy Poe Dameron shit.
Yes,
like in stuff that Poe Dameron doesn't even do. Like she breaks.
I don't think
that's weird.
Okay, well that took all of 2 seconds.
So I don't know when we got disconnected or whatever, but I'm just saying Hera flies an X-wing and it was awesome. And yeah, yes. I guess that's.
I think we're still on track. I think OBS just had a little heart attack there for a minute.
Yeah. So again, Jedis are being killed off, but that's okay because for the most part, all Jedi are supposed to be dead by A New Hope, Episode 4. So we knew that these guys were going to die.
Yes. Sorry about that. Don't know why it cut. Sometimes it does.
Anyways, so that's all I'm going to say. Oh, spoiler over.
Oh.
Spoiler over.
Oh, yeah, we're all done. Spoilers done. All right. And then we'll get back to your questions, Josh and Gannon. At the end, we will talk a little bit about why all that's happening. I know Rich just mentioned it. So, thank you, Gannon, for letting us know we're live again. If that happens again, Gannon, Josh, you guys are our eyes. Let us know that we have cut the rug.
Our eyes and ears on the field.
Yes. Now we go to Gannon with our eyes on the field. Okay. So with that being said, we have covered Rebels. Let's work kind of in order of canon, right? So
okay.
Let's go next to or at least what's coming out, right? Because I have a little bit of news, which was kind of interesting that I ran across today from The Force Awakens, which was kind of the origin, creatively, of Phasma's character. There was just a little blurb I found online that Phasma was a late addition by JJ because Kathleen Kennedy liked her so much. Now, where she comes from originally and where that design comes from isn't from Phasma at all. Phasma, they weren't trying to design this character. It was actually an early concept design for Kylo's character that she liked, and they ended up creating a rendition and a whole character out of.
Yeah.
Now, I think they created an awesome character. I still think, not spoiler because it's been so long, I still think that Phasma is actually just a series of clones and they're starting up the new clone program again.
Maybe.
When that drops, get ready because that's too good, because there's no other way to describe how she got out twice. Now, I know they had that little bit of canon in the comic book that Phasma had this like ultimate metal melting chemical, and that's how she got out of the compactor, but she literally fell to a fiery death out of saying, like, what, 2 lines?
Yeah.
In The Last Jedi?
We saw her eye.
Right, and that was it. And that's really disappointing. And so I think if they want to save the character, and Kathleen Kennedy probably is going to have a little bit to do with that, she's coming back.
So, yeah, I had heard that, that it was a reused design
Yes.
Because they just loved that design and wanted it in the movie. I also heard that it was like a super, like, day before filming or something that they decided to make it a woman and cast Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, that I didn't hear.
Because they were just going to have it just be a leader of the Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know what, let's make it, we like Game of Thrones, Gwendolyn Christie in there,
What if we did
Which is
that?
cool if we actually saw Gwendolyn Christie.
I know. In any... it's so upsetting. But she is a great actress. I think she did a great job in The Force Awakens. I would actually argue she's probably one of the stronger characters in The Force Awakens. She had the most... As an actor, she seemed the most comfortable with her role, having done all this Game of Thrones stuff of being this crazy badass just fighter. And that we didn't see really Kylo or Rey or those characters really come into being until The Last Jedi, which is where I think The Last Jedi should get some props, because I think that ended up being pretty good. So that brings us to we're doing some funny tidbits we found online this week before we get to the big juicy meaty stuff. And I don't know if you noticed this, because now that I think about it, I noticed it for the first time ever, because the Wilhelm scream is in everything.
Can't do it.
Which is from a 1952, I believe, Western. It was one of the first yells, and it kept getting reused and reused. And if you Google Wilhelm scream compilation, you will see how many times it gets used and how many times you've missed it.
I think it was from a 1951 Western, but it didn't get famous until 1953 when it was used in
I forget the name of the Western.
Something About a Feather.
Was that it?
Something about, I can't remember the name. Something with a feather in it, but it was, the character was Private Wilhelm, and he did that scream, which is again a reused scream from 2 years earlier. Yeah, but that's what made it famous, and they've been it's been used in over 400 movies. But I think it's most famous, of course, for being used in Star Wars video games and movies, and Indiana Jones movies and video games as well. Lucas was like, I like that sound effect
since '77, so it is a huge change. Which we got to give. I forget his name, the sound designer?
Ben Burt.
Ben Burt. We got to give him some props for making that change. Now, I also liked, which Gannon pointed out a half second before we did, now that the Wilhelm scream is gone, I like that he has included some other tidbit of a yell, some other little Easter egg of a yell that none of us really know of yet.
Yeah, it was Matthew Wood who said earlier today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. Where he was talking about how they've made something new. Again, Ben Burt was the one that just because Ben Burt was the sound designer for the original trilogy, but Matthew Wood, of course, is the sound designer now, and he's been the sound designer. He was co-sound designer with Ben Burt during the prequel era, and now I believe Matthew Wood is pretty much taking the lead now. And Matthew Wood, for all you nerds out there, he was the voice of General Grievous in all the battle droids in the prequels. Yes. He said that they've invented a new scream, which is going to be the new scream that he's not saying when it is or what it is, but he says they've already used it in Rogue One and in The Last Jedi, and after a few more movies, he's going to let you know what it is. I think people are going to be. He wants people to be looking for it.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and look for it. I think we're going to have to do that. That might have to be a Rich and Derek day, where all we do is watch them and write the screams. This one, this one goes ah, and this one goes ah. Is that the same one? Just flipped? No, right? So let's keep going with The Last Jedi here, which is, I think, I didn't look it up, but I think we had decided that this is the quickest Star Wars to home release.
Oh.
Theater to home release yet.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this movie came out in theaters, what, December 7th?
Okay, hold on. There, we're back. We're back. Sorry, guys. I'm going to fix something real quick.
So anyways.
Yes, keep talking.
I was saying, we got the movie in December, mid-December, and now it's the first home video trailer was released today in mid-February, or it was yesterday in mid-February. So, and when is this supposed to come out? March something?
So the initial release of all the standard definitions and stuff like that that you see is going to be March 13th, and then for the first time Disney's put online, it's going to end up being released. They're going to put their 4K Ultra HD edition in a Star Wars film. That's going to be on the 27th.
Okay. Cool.
So, and then here's a little bit of some extra tidbits for you. The 14 deleted scenes, some things like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. There's going to be 14 deleted scenes, and as I know, that's not even all the deleted scenes, because, I mean, Rian Johnson said his first cut of the movie was like 5.5 hours long.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's literally 2-3 hours of this movie missing from the original cut. So I think he probably went through and, picked 14 of the best, like they do, and they're not going to put the entire deleted catalog on there.
Cool.
There's going to be, of course, feature-length commentary, lots of Rian Johnson explaining stuff, of course, his thoughts.
Here, so
14 deleted scenes is on here twice.
Yes, and the reason I did that is because we're going to go back just a bit here. So The Last Jedi, just so we can get back there, Ryan 4K, right? So just to make sure you guys didn't miss anything with that downtime, I apologize. It has been corrected. The 14 deleted scenes is conjunction with 20 to 30 minutes of cut footage. Now, they were advertising in the home release trailer that it was going to have over 2 hours of additional footage. So not necessarily like deleted scenes, but there might be like bloopers, gag reels, stuff like that.
I think that 2 hours of content includes, bloopers, behind the scenes, and everything else.
Yes.
And they're just kind of be like, it's over 2 hours of content, so. But we'll see what that actually is.
The real thing that is striking is that there is feature-length commentary. The entire film, Rian Johnson goes in and talks about it. He also does a different... he has a specific commentary on the origins of the Force, where Ryan thought and his inspiration came from a lot of these Force ideas. So it's really interesting to see how much Rian Johnson is having to explain himself on this stuff, which I think you and me agreed that, I mean, as far as a Star Wars film goes, it broke the mold. That was its point. Its point wasn't to be the J.J. Abrams continue on, I'm just going to do whatever he says because he doesn't like to finish anything film. It was Rian Johnson saying, this is what I think a Star Wars film should be. So I think it's going to be a great release, and I'm very excited for it. So,
okay.
Everything else, you good?
I'm just thinking some people were like, let us see the 5-hour cut, but it probably, I think he even said it was cut down for good reason because it just dragged and dragged and dragged. And I actually think where the movie's at is pretty good. I am looking forward to a couple deleted scenes. Like I want to see that third lesson that Luke gives Rey, for example, and some other stuff.
Which I'm sure is going to be in there. There's almost no way it won't be.
Yeah, but I don't need to see the 5-hour cut in its entirety. I mean, I would if it existed, but I'm not sad that it doesn't exist.
I'm a little sad. I think that'd be fun.
Not everybody's Peter Jackson where they want to release that mega version.
Right. Here's everything.
All right, D-Rock, what's next?
So I'm going to spin this into what you've been wanting to talk about and that we have prepped for everybody here, which is just another little tidbit that if you haven't seen it already online, go check it out. It looks super cool. It is Disney's new Star Wars hotel, which is coming in conjunction with Star Wars Land, which is opening soon, which is, well, not soon, like in a year. But still, much sooner than it has been since they've released it. So, I think Star Wars World is going to be very interesting. And I don't know if anybody online has seen what it looks like. But the main focus point, which is where I'd kick it off to you, Richie, you ready? Is the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, the Millennium Falcon, you don't say.
Yes. And what have we heard about the Millennium Falcon, Rich?
I'm going to call this segment... The Millennium Falcon that you thought you knew, that you never knew, you didn't know anything about.
This isn't your dad's Millennium Falcon.
Or maybe it is. No, so the Millennium Falcon...
Oh.
Just because it's supposed to be in the past.
Right,
whatever.
I got it.
So anyways, in Solo, a Star Wars story, we get to see the Millennium Falcon, the newest we've ever seen it. Apparently that little cameo in Revenge of the Sith was not Han's Millennium Falcon now, because now they're changing some stuff. So I'm just going to put this up here. This, guys, is what the Millennium Falcon looks like in the frickin' thing. So, anyways,
in the frickin' thing?
In the frickin' movie. So, as we can see here, there's a few things. As people know, the blue, I don't know if they can see the pointer, they probably can't. No. But there's little blue highlights on the ship. I think everybody knew that was happening. But you guys look at the satellite dish and how flat it is. Now, this is our third Millennium Falcon satellite dish. We have the bigger, rounder one in the original trilogy that Lando breaks off in the Death Star 2. And then we have the rectangle dish in the sequel trilogy. Yeah. This is a round dish, but it's almost flat to the surface. And also we see it's got more of a longer duck bill in front. It doesn't have that separation that the Falcon usually has.
Yes.
In the original trilogy. So if you look at this picture, which is the original trilogy Falcon, we can see the separation on the duck bill in the front. You'll also notice some different. I'm going to keep putting it back in front. There's you can see that the thing in the middle is separated. It looks like something's kind of missing in the middle.
Yeah, it's like they took something out.
And it's always looked like that stylistically, and I just have a feeling the modelers and everybody during the making of Solo was like, it's always looked like something was missing in the middle there. Why don't we put something in the middle there? Because it looks like something, what I mean?
Missing, yeah.
That conversation had to have happened,
Yes.
I don't think it was ever intended to do that, to be what they think, but I think it's fun that they're doing it anyway. So here is, and I found this just right before we started, here is a new toy that got leaked. It's a picture of a toy that got leaked, and you can see
the blend of both.
Yeah, you can see that the piece that is in the middle has been taken out, making it look like the classic shape, which makes me think that this is part of a shuttle or an escape bay or something
or some type of, because isn't the Millennium Falcon originally a freighter of sorts, like a tugboat? Wasn't it supposed
to? It's a Carillion ship. Yeah. Here's the Lego version too.
Yeah.
We can clearly see the ejection here.
Yes.
So anyways, yeah, you can really see that that it is sort of like an escape or a shuttle or something that comes out, and I'm just gonna throw this out here. I bet this has something to do with the end of the movie or something during the Kessel Run, where somebody needs to escape. Probably Kira.
This seems too clunky though. I think this is fan made.
No. This is official.
You sure?
Yeah.
Where'd you find this?
100%.
Where did you find your news?
These are from the guys from Toy World. I promise you, this is what it is.
I am just trying to be the audience.
So yeah, we can now see that they've fudged with ship continuity a little bit, and they've given the Millennium Falcon some kind of shuttle thing here. So again, my guess is that some point during the movie, he saves Kira's life by ejecting her from the Falcon, and he never sees her again. And because he's so emotionally distraught from it, he never replaces that shuttle bay on the Falcon, which leaves it with the classic shuttle hole that you see on that picture.
I am going to tear holes in your theory, because that's what we do here on the Star Wars Network. I think that's how he does the whatever trip in under 12 parsecs.
Oh, but he cheats somehow by using that?
Yes, because he takes it off. He takes off the extra weight that isn't needed in order for that ship to fly. And if you look, can you pull up the original one for me?
That's us.
That's
we
us.
are the original.
This one. Okay, so I'm gonna use
nice
hands here. So you lose the weight here, but you still have the additional. You still have the additional engines over here.
You
right?
want to get over the image?
Yeah. So if you see this, it looks like it's done a lot of add-ons. I think what we're going to see in this film is we're going to see the evolution of that prior ship into this ship, and there might be something with her ejection and things like that. And I'm the Millennium Falcon now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the Falcon now.
Well, however it works out, it's really interesting to see the Falcon being presented in a completely new way, and I'm really curious to see what this is all about in the movie. So I'm going to take that away now, and that was our segment on how the Falcon looks different in Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Yes, which I enjoyed.
I did the pause before and after that segment because I'm probably going to take that and make it its own video.
Yes, with the Falcon head.
Yeah. Right. Another bit of toy, unless you got something else to say about that.
Keep going.
Another bit of toy news.
Falcon confirmed.
Oh, look. So now we can be on each side of it.
You have more
so
toys.
this is the
Rich,
new...
you didn't tell me you had more toys.
Oh yeah, here it is. So here is what the new Stormtrooper looks like. This is, I'm assuming, on the snow planet, especially with this guy with his cool little like...
Look at those snow boots!
Yeah, I was gonna get to that
Look
too. So we've seen a couple of scenes from the snow planet on in the trailers, but I don't remember if we actually saw this guy in the trailer or not. So this is what the Stormtroopers look like. And what I really like is that really cool like snow jacket he's got. His helmet looks like a combination of the Scarif Troopers in Rogue One and, of course, the Snow Troopers on Hoth in Empire Strikes Back. But my favorite part of this action figure is those boots, because that looks like straight out of Fallout, dude.
Yes.
Like power armor boots, dude.
Well, I love the way they did it too. They have the coat is not the armor. The coat is under the armor. If you look up at his chest, it shows that the suit is coming out of the armor. The armor actually covers all of that. I think that's gonna look good. That's gonna look good on
apparently,
screen.
See how his rifle has that cool scope on top? Apparently, these guys are meant to shoot.
Here?
Yeah. Apparently, these guys are meant to shoot at a distance. The official name of this guy is the Range Trooper. So,
well, it's got the classic. So all the Range Troopers had, I forget which film, but they had all the straight across eye. Instead of the classic Stormtrooper.
Oh, the clone troopers in the prequels, they had like the Boba Fett,
for the additional optics, So I love this. That is going to be great. I'm very excited.
And then some have visors and other things, but I'm thinking that these guys are going to be super badass. And what's funny is I collect Black Series Stormtrooper action figures. By the way. Grown-ass man collecting action figures. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
But sorry, not sorry. But you know, it's funny because every time I see something like the Shadow Troopers or the new Red Guards that are like way more badass than the other ones, it's like I always think to myself, especially in a movie like this, in Rogue One where it takes place before A New Hope, it's like, what happened to all these really cool Stormtroopers by the time we get to A New Hope?
No kidding.
All we have is vanilla Stormtroopers, and of course the real reason is they hadn't been invented yet. But canonically, it's like, where'd they go?
You know what upsets me?
What?
You know what upsets me, Rich?
What?
I'm gonna bring it back. This is not video game talk, but good golly gosh, I cannot believe they didn't just make Battlefront 2 have the different looks. They could have just done the different looks. You didn't have to make it the cards now, Battlefront.
Hi, we'll be here all night.
Not me, I'm gonna go cry.
All right, that's all I have to say. Any other last words on this new trooper? He looks badass as hell.
I think that's great. I think we're gonna I'm gonna make you bring in, because that's what I like to talk about next time, is I'm gonna pull up the series 14 I think release, which just came out of X-Wing. Okay. Which, if you guys haven't played this before, Star Wars X-Wing is a tabletop game that's on like a 3x3 mat. And it's basically dogfighting. It's not even basically that. It is Star Wars dogfighting. It is very good game. I have blown way too much money on the figurines for it. And I am excited to talk a little bit more about that. Not only about what the specs on the ships are in the game and what they're releasing, but a little bit more in the canon, what they're from, and their background, much like the troopers here. Sorry. Yes. So...
all right, what's next on the news docket, my friend?
So the next on the news docket, which is probably my favorite thing, is Donald Glover recently on one of his press tours came up and had a good couple quotes.
Donald Glover, who of course is playing Lando in the new Solo movie,
which I am so excited for. However, his quotes leave a little bit to be wary. I don't know if you've read them yet, so I'm going to go ahead and just read them off to everybody here. This is... Thank you, Uncensored Wrestling. I just saw that. That's awesome. Donald Glover quotes. Lando Calrissian quotes. Not from the movie, but from his press tour. Is...
So from just Donald Glover quotes.
Yes, just Donald Glover. So it says, I think this movie's like just a fun summer film. Which got me feeling a little weird.
Uh-oh.
Then... he continues, not a quote, mentioned that we know what happens already, and so they didn't have to focus on the lineage when filming this. They were just focusing on the journey, not the destination. However, he also then mentions, and I'm kind of interested to see how they portray this, if it's supposed to be a fun summer film, that they get really involved in a dark underworld adventure. So, I mean, it's very clear that where these two met was in the underbelly of smuggling. That's kind of what they're both not both known for, but that's where they made their name. And so that I can see. That part's easy. What's got me concerned with Donald Glover, and I'll let you talk to this, is just a fun summer film.
I think he's being cautious, you know. It's like, because he doesn't want to say too much, because on one hand, if the movie does really well, then it's like, yeah, he said it was going to be a fun summer film. He just didn't want us to get too overhyped or whatever. But if it's not good, then it's like, oh, he did say it's just a fun summer film. Right. It's like he kind of did it in a way that, you guys got to remember, Donald Glover, he's probably, and my theory is that Lando's only in maybe 20 minutes of this movie.
No, you shut that.
Because like he was even like, I didn't even notice the director difference, because I think they
didn't like shoot any of his.
I think maybe Ron Howard reshot 2 or 3 of his scenes, but ultimately, like, he didn't, like, he knew what he's the best actor in the movie, so he knew what he was doing the whole time. I just feel like he doesn't have the greatest grasps on the movie as a whole, because it's Star Wars. You guys have to understand, when you do a Star Wars movie, except for like that tape, because JJ for whatever reason did that table read, most of the time Lucasfilm gives you just your lines and kind of some context as to what's around your lines.
You're mad here. You're sad here.
Yeah, and that was definitely the case for this Solo movie. Nobody knows this whole, like, the only people that know the entire thing is Ron Howard, because apparently Lord Miller didn't even know what they were doing. So it's just Ron Howard and maybe Lawrence Kasdan. Lawrence Kasdan, right? Yeah.
Who?
Lawrence Kasdan, the screenwriter.
Oh, yeah.
I always, for some reason, I always get his name confused with Irvin Kershner, who was the director of Empire, because Irvin Kershner directed Empire Strikes Back.
And also, you just love The Empire Strikes Back.
I also love The Empire Strikes Back, which was written by Lawrence Kasdan.
See?
Story by George Lucas, of course. Yeah. But and that may end up being the big thing we're missing here, but hey, that's for another time. Not a whole lot of people know about this, and Donald Glover, he's famous, and they want to interview him, but I don't think he knows diddly about like the overall thing here. So he did a couple fun action scenes. So he's like, in his mind, he's like, fun summer action film.
I had fun, and it was summer, and I made a film.
But he probably has no idea, guys. He has no idea.
Yeah,
love the guy, but he has no idea.
But it'll be interesting to see what they do with some of the, because he did give us a grain of hope there with having like a pretty good balance to the film by mentioning the dark underworld adventure. Now I see everybody getting mad about, well, not mad, but everybody's saying grain of salt, grain of salt, grain of salt. I get it. However, everything we do is based on grains of salt. We take those grains of salt and turn them into mountains.
I mean, I'm sure he's also signed about a dozen NDAs, and he can't really talk about anything. No, non-disclosure agreement, guys.
Yes, unless you're whoever played Spider-Man in the most recent film. I forget his name.
Tom Holland. Yeah.
He was oh my God, whoever wrote those NDAs was probably like, stop it! So, that being said, back to the film, the Solo film, what we've learned this week. That was really it. We didn't really have any new releases. I think my favorite release of this past week was really the at-home trailer for The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was really fun. Like, it kind of put the movie into perspective, more so than what the original trailer had done for me, and especially what the Solo trailer did.
It's like it spoiled everything. So if you never saw the movie, then wait, Yoda's in this,
right?
What Kylo and Luke are fighting off. It spoils the trailer spoils everything. And I noticed that some people's comments on there were like, "Why wasn't this the official trailer?" And people were like, "Well, duh, this would have spoiled everything." People were like, "Yeah, but I would have been prepared for these things."
Yeah, you're like, "But I wanted it."
So it kind of gives that back, because like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi barely spoiled anything, not even story context in their trailers. And judging by the reaction of The Last Jedi, I wouldn't be surprised if Episode 9's trailer gave much more about what it's about and the story and everything. Just be like, hey guys, here's what this movie is, so you know.
Yeah.
Don't come bitching to us when you don't like it.
We already told you. Yeah. Well,
so,
that'll be pretty good. I didn't run across any other new Solo news this week, because we're getting pretty close to the release date. So
we're getting there.
It's coming. Have you bought your tickets yet?
I have not bought my tickets. I didn't know. Are the tickets on sale yet?
No, they're not. But you always do it, and then you don't. You forget to buy a third seat. Buy a third seat. I'm coming with you.
Okay.
We need to watch it so we can give it to the people so we can do our super. I talk with my hands. I'm an Italian.
All right, here's what's gonna happen. As soon as I find it, because they usually announce like tomorrow, buy your tickets.
Yes.
As soon as I find that out, I'm gonna message like everybody who bitches at me that I don't tell them. Like,
tickets. We have
like,
the tickets.
okay, here it is. You can like Venmo me your money, and I will get you a ticket. You don't, you're not getting one.
No, correct.
But for you, I'll probably just
and Ganon confirmed what I was just giving him crap for. I was mainly doing that as a ploy to give him doo-doo.
I'm gonna have to preserve like the entire back row.
Yes, please. Okay, so that brings us to our final little parting bit here, which you can talk a lot about. And I just bring the good news, and you can bring a bit of the history on why he deserves it. Mark Hamill, after all of these years, and being arguably one of the best voice actors in of the modern era, he's very good at what he does. He definitely grew as he got older. He didn't get stuck in his old method of acting. He definitely improved his entire life. He, my friends, is finally getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Much deserved.
Much deserved.
Much deserved. So,
you know, I'm just like, when you said that to me earlier, I was just like, wow. Like, I feel like I can't believe he didn't have one already. Like, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, it's a national treasure, a Hollywood treasure, you know? And, like, I just, it shocks me that, like, you know, did Carrie even get one before she died? I don't think so. Like, it's kind of a
I'm not
travesty.
sure. I'll do a little bit of searching while I talk.
Her mom, Debbie Reynolds, definitely had one.
Yes.
But I don't think she did, and I think that's kind of sad. I think that I think all three of them, because I think Harrison has one, but I think all three of them should have gotten one together, like immediately after that original film. I mean, even the Harry Potter kids got their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame like right after the first movie.
Yeah,
is bullshit.
yeah, she doesn't have one.
But yeah, Mark Hamill, he definitely deserves one. And you know, I love him as Luke Skywalker, but I mean, as growing up, I also loved him as the voice of the Joker. I still think he is the definitive voice of the Joker.
Yes.
Even if I don't like some things, like the Killing Joke cartoon movie wasn't my favorite, but I still loved him as that voice
in it.
You know, Batsy. You know, it's the best.
They have not had a Joker play the part correctly since then. And I'm going to say it, and you're not going to like it. The only reason Heath Ledger was argued to be a good Joker is because he died.
Yeah, well, that is a discussion for...
That is a discussion for a different channel and a different network. All right, so we're getting pretty close to the end here, so I'm going to go ahead...
Shots fired.
Right? I'm going to go ahead and tell Garrett I'm throwing shade. I'm coming for him. If you don't know, there's another show that Rich has that I'm a part of every once in a while called Video Game Talk, where we talk about all things video games and video game related, and I like to poke fun at him and Garrett. So that's what we like to have fun here. So we're at almost the end of the show. We're almost into the last 15 minutes here. So I'm going to preface this by saying, drop your questions. I've seen some good ones so far. Big old fan of some of these. I'm going to go back to the top with some of the Rebels questions you had earlier. I saw Josh put a few in there. But I'm wondering if you guys have anything that you're really feeling needs to be answered, what's itching for you. If that even means that I got to do some Googling real quick to get you your answer, I'll do it. If you don't want to look up how old Carrie Fisher is, turns out it doesn't matter.
Oh no.
I'm terrible. Sorry. I know. That's rough. You have to laugh with the pain. I'm actually really sad, and I deal with pain via humor, so I apologize for that. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wait for those questions to tick in.
I can feel you unsubscribing at home.
Right, as we scroll back to the top. I'm sorry, that was rude.
No, I was like, I'm like, that's terrible, but I'm still laughing because I love terrible jokes.
She's amazing.
Carrie Fisher was a treasure, and... The fact that she won't be in episode 9 kills me every day.
But I think
we have a sense of humor over here at Star Wars Network.
And so did she.
Us. And yeah, she would. That's what I always say. Like
her actions were put in a pill bottle.
We can't CGI her in episode 9. That would be unrespectful. You know what Carrie would have said if she was alive, which would be weird because then it wouldn't be a problem. But she'd be like, "Go ahead and put the character in there. Who cares? People want Princess Leia." Like she had the
so
greatest.
Much more.
She was the funniest, greatest sense. She would have just been like, "Yeah, do it for the sake of the movie." She wouldn't have cared. we're all over here like we have to respect her wishes. Like,
no, she was she had a dark sense of humor. Holy cow. If you ever get into some deep reading on just who Carrie Fisher was as a person, she had some real dark sense of humor. Like her ashes were put in a pill case.
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious. I mean, I'm sad she's gone, but it's what she wanted. So, all right, let's get up here. So we had a question earlier, which I think you mentioned it.
Oh, we're moving on to questions now?
We're moving on to questions.
Question time.
We got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes of your questions, or 15 if you don't have that many questions. There was the first question, which I actually am okay with talking with, if you want to, which is our own Star Wars thing. Oh. Josh had originally asked who voiced who in Star Wars Rebels.
All right, so
kind of fun
if you're just joining us now, you'll see that we recently uploaded a video called Star Wars Rebels Abridged, Episode 1. And yes, it is our first abridged series here, and I mean, we're going to continue to do it. It's a lot of fun. I voiced Kanan and Zeb, so as Kanan, I kind of did like a Solid Snake kind of a thing.
Yes.
And as Zeb, I'm doing just like a generic, like Frank Oz Muppet voice, like, hey guys, ha 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 ha, kind of a thing, which I think is hilarious. And then,
I enjoyed it.
And then, Derek, what do you do?
I voice Ezra, and the droid I always forget. What's his name?
It's Chomper.
Chomper. I can't ever remember his name because he only had a line in this last one, which you gotta watch it until you hit it because he blended it perfectly. It fits in there amazing. I'm not gonna spoil that because that's hilarious.
As Ezra, you're just kind of doing like a weebie, like
I'm doing like, oh, we gotta go down here, guys.
That's a steep ledge.
Yeah, it's just really the kind of goofiest, most exaggerated voice I could do that was a little higher pitch,
and then your 1940s announcer for Chopper.
My 1940s announcer for Chopper. I'm a droid.
It's droid with real class, guys.
Yes, as droids are.
Jackie, my wife, did Sabine in a very she's like, it's funny because she wasn't sure what she was doing. She kind of started off a little New Zealand and they kind of went more like Wales and then English. I think her accent is just going to keep on fluctuating,
which makes it way better.
And then our friend Lauren did Hera, and that's pretty much just Lauren's real voice.
She has such good mic etiquette. Like, Rich kept telling me, get away from the microphone, get away from the microphone. I'm like, no, yell into it!
And then our friend Corey did the Inquisitor, and he only had a couple lines in this episode, but the Inquisitor, as you know, in the first season, he's going to keep coming back, so he's like, nah!
And we all did a bunch of different voices for the Stormtroopers, which was super fun. I like doing, like, different main character voices.
Your cowboy Stormtrooper.
My cowboy, Roger! What'd you say?
Yeah, so he was that, and then Corey did the Stormtroopers like, I'm being murdered! I've been murdered! And then, I mean, you can pretty much tell whenever I do a Stormtrooper, because I talk like I normally talk, like, hey guys, so I'm really uncreative with those Stormtroopers. But
that's alright, Rich. You want to know why that's okay?
Why?
Because I let me fly spaceship!
I love the like, derp, we're going to call him Derp Trooper.
Derp Trooper, yes. Pew, 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 pew. We had way too much fun making it, and we're actually in the process of making another one right now, so it will be out within the next couple weeks. Yeah. Probably within the next 2 weeks.
I think, my goal right now is to kind of keep them every other Friday until we kind of, like, we start getting into the feel of, like, okay, we already know what we're going to do for the next one, because my goal would be for us to get it on every week.
Yes.
That goal seems a little daunting right now.
Well, what we'll probably do to gauge interest, and if you guys like it, go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell, share it with everybody you know, because we're having a blast with it. If we get enough traction on it, what we'll probably end up doing is, as we're doing the every other week, we'll just film a bunch for the next season and get ahead of the game. That way we can have that weekly release. Yeah. So we'll jump on it.
We certainly shall.
Yes.
Next question.
All right. That one has no context because we waited so long. This one you can probably answer because I don't actually know what this is. It is from Gannon136. Have you guys viewed Thrawn a little bit differently in the second half of the season? This is for Rebels, right?
Yeah.
And now that Timothy Zahn's Thrawn novel is out, and do you believe he survives like Filoni hinted?
The thing is, Thrawn is, of course, very different, I think so, than he was in the original Thrawn novels from the 90s, the early 90s. Because, and of course, the context is completely different. He was in power after Palpatine died versus now he's in power before Episode 4 even begins. I would be okay with him dying in Rebels if the death was cool.
Yes.
I would also be okay with him surviving, but then it's like, well, then what are they going to do with him after that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll have to, hopefully, I know that Filoni probably has like 3 other cartoons lined up. I would love to see live action Thrawn, but I think that if he survives, they better make it cool in the next show or whatever. Personally, I would rather see him die, though. So, that's just me.
Well, there you have it. I haven't watched it. So I'm going to go with that. So Josh actually asked a good question, which I think we answered in the other one. He asked, seriously, are they killing off Jedi for real or something these days? As a throwback to why are so many Jedi dying? Well, part of it is when you have these really complex stories with major characters proceed into another canon timeline that doesn't have them in it, and it is so far ahead, none of these people can make it. There has to be either some excuse or they just need to die.
Right.
Which is terrible.
In the original trilogy, we have Obi-Wan, we have Luke, and we have Yoda. We're not supposed to think that there's like really any other Jedi out there. And I mean, you could be like, well, in the comic book, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, they bring Jedis in and out all the time, but they usually die at the end of their arcs because they'd be in the movies if they were more important than their own story arc. Yep. So sadly, that's why I do believe Ezra will die, kick it in this last episode. So do I.
There's almost, unless they are doing some crazy Kathleen Kennedy juggling bit, and they're getting an Ezra style character.
Is Phasma confirmed. Somehow.
Who knew? Okay, so let's see what we got here. Scroll. Top 3 Star Wars films from Uncensored Wrestling.
Okay, Uncensored Wrestling. He's the one who said we were dope, too.
Yes.
So that makes you dope.
You by proxy.
Probably Empire, Jedi, and then Wildcard Rogue One is my number 3. And when I say Jedi, I mean Return of the Jedi. I'm so used to just calling Return of the Jedi, Jedi. So Empire Strikes Back, number 1. Return of the Jedi, number 2. And Rogue One as number 3. Those are my top 3 Star Wars films.
So it's funny.
That was on my official list, too. Which is on this channel that you didn't watch.
Correct. So mine is Rogue One. By far top, just because it's the best war film I've seen in years. And then because science... I go Clone Wars, which everybody gives me crap for, but that had some of the best like droid designs and stuff like that, and some of the like the largest, grandest scenes. Just
to be clear, when you say Clone Wars, you actually mean Attack of the Clones, right? Episode 2.
Yes, Attack of the Clones. Because there's the spin-off TV show. Because
the TV show had a theatrical movie, which was like a 2-hour beginning of that show, which was called Star Wars Clone Wars. So just to clarify,
which was very good.
Because some people are like at home right now,
all over.
I mean,
the screen.
they might still have that reaction for Attack of the Clones too.
Yes, I know, and I apologize for that. But I just love the science behind it. And then this is gonna bug a lot of people, but it's Empire Strikes Back. I can't. Empire's too good.
Empire is the best. Yeah. I mean, A New Hope is great, but Empire Strikes Back really is what defines Star Wars.
Yes.
From that point on, that is Star Wars. Every video game, every movie since then is trying to recapture the feeling of Empire Strikes Back. That is the best.
It is. I'll give it it's my top 3. I like it, but if I'm going to rewatch a film, I'm going to watch Rogue One 1,000 times. That's where I'm at with that. Okay, so we have here...
Gannon has a long question about canon books.
All right, let's do it.
What does he say here? Read that. I can't read right now.
That is all right. I have eyes. I can read.
I'm going to have to start wearing my glasses.
What is your take on the canon book and comic situation right now? Are we getting enough reading material? I personally am constantly catching up, but want to hear your take on how it feels.
I get busy with all, I'm running 4 different YouTube channels right now, a Twitch, and some other social media stuff.
Yeah.
I get behind really easily, and when I get behind, it's bad. And I struggled to keep up, but I love so many things, I love, like things in Star Wars canon right now in the comics are really good. Alpha is like an incredible character, and just what they're doing, the 2 different Maul comics, Poe Dameron's comic is starting to get good. I love it. I get behind all the time. I'm still catching up with most of it, but it's great. The book's great. The first Aftermath novel was okay, but then the next couple after that were good. There's so much I don't even know where to begin. It's all pretty good.
I think it's coming. I think I think it varies in its quality greatly. I think what ends up happening is anybody who's a casual viewer of Star Wars, when they look... You're not too late, Hail Hydra, ask a question. And also, Morning Coffee Run.
Everyone's comes in at the end here.
I hate you. I also love you.
Derek likes episode 2, unsubscribed.
Okay, so with the reading situation, what ends up happening is anybody who's a casual viewer of Star Wars who wants to get in now, it's kind of daunting. I haven't picked up the comic books. I don't even know where to start. I have no idea where I could start or how I should start or how I don't spend $6,000 grabbing all the comic books just so I can catch up.
Well,
so
you have me as a friend who can fill you in on anything important that happens.
Which is, yes, correct.
So you don't necessarily need to, because I'll be like, Derek, guess what happened in the freaking Poe Dameron comic?
Oh, what happened, Rich?
It's life-changing. And I'll tell you, if I didn't do that, it's just cool but not important. Right?
But that being said, I like all the extra reading because I'm a huge fan of the science/pseudoscience that they use to create all this Star Wars world. So that's where I'm at. All right, let's keep moving.
We got some good questions here. Like, who's our favorite Sith?
Well, we have that one's next. Is Uncensored Wrestling Padme, Rey, or Leia? Who do you like most?
I feel like this question is really who's your favorite female character?
Yes.
And the answer is none of those. My favorite female character is Ahsoka. She is the most powerful.
Absolutely.
She is the best character.
She
knows where she stands. She's an independent, alien. I forget her species all of a sudden.
Right.
But no, Ahsoka, hands down, her character arc in the Clone Wars, incredible. The actual Clone Wars.
So
and then,
good.
and then like the Ahsoka novel that came out recently, that was incredible. Ahsoka coming into Clone Wars and being the leader of the rebels for a time, that was incredible. Incredible. Ahsoka is incredible. Her 2 double white lightsabers.
She's so cool. Okay.
And then that fight with Vader. Catch up.
Right? Catch up. Okay. So who's my favorite Sith?
Ooh, favorite Sith.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul for you?
Darth Maul.
Darth Vader for me. Just classic, you know.
Right. We'll blow past that one. Thank you, Ryan Man 6000 for that question. We want to get a couple more in here. Since everybody's participating. Thank you, friends. Carrie Fisher was an Archon. Yes, that's correct. Here's a long one from Ganon136, which is said in admiration because you asked some very complete questions. I appreciate that. Since we all know there is totally going to be another animated show from Dave Filoni, Carrie Beck, and the crew, what would you guys like to have it be about?
Shadows of the Empire.
2033.
Just kidding. Shadows of the Empire. Yeah. Because Shadows of the Empire is my favorite Star Wars story.
Isn't 2033 that one I always get confused?
I think you mean 1313.
That's it. Having a stroke.
See, I always know what you mean when you say...
Yeah, but my words in my mouth don't connect sometimes.
Yeah, no, 1313 would be cool too. But Shadows of the Empire is the greatest Star Wars story with the greatest Star Wars character of Dash Rendar ever put to pen and video game and comic. Make it happen, Dave Filoni, please.
Why don't you just tell us how you really feel? Yeah, that would actually, I would be a fan of that.
That's what I want to have. That's what they won't do. They'll probably do. I think that they'll do Old Republic, unless that's the.
I think
what they're doing. The Game of Thrones guys are doing. We'll see.
I think that's what the Game of Thrones guys are doing. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
But that was. I think we were drinking and not on this, right? It was one of those late nights of like, don't you think those guys are going to be doing the Old Republic?
Honestly, I've enjoyed Clone Wars and Rebels, so anything, even if it's just like an original story like Rebels was with new characters, I'm down for anything that Dave Filoni comes up with, because the guy is a genius.
He's good.
There.
He's good.
Him and his weird cowboy hat, he's all cool.
He can wear that as long as he wants. So Uncensored Wrestling had who would we want Rey's parents to be?
Don't care.
Correct. I think in order to entertain your question, I think they probably did the best they could. I think if they would have done it, is like, it's part Vader,
again,
part all these other people.
I'm okay with her parents being nobodies because this is a huge universe. Not everything has to be connected to make the universe smaller. Yes. Like, isn't it cool if just, it's not connected? I don't know.
Yep.
There is a fanboy part of me that's like, if only she was Obi-Wan's granddaughter. That's the only thing I think I would accept that isn't nobody. I would like her maybe to be connected to Obi-Wan, but obviously Luke's daughter, that didn't happen, and I'm okay with that.
Yep.
So, yeah. Moving on.
All right, so the next one, which I really like, is what's your favorite scene in The Last Jedi by Hail Hydra?
The Yoda scene for me. I think that was a really cool throwback, especially using puppet Yoda, Frank Oz Yoda, and just his whole young Skywalker.
And it had the old Yoda mannerisms to it.
And apparently Force Ghost can use Force Lightning now, which is something Yoda never did even when he was corporeal, but hey, cool still, right?
I'm excited. I don't think that's as big of a deal as people make it. I think it's worth it. My favorite scene from The Last Jedi is clearly this. It's Salt.
And Gareth Edwards.
Yep. Not only because that line was just perfect to set how the rebels are compared to this super emotional, over the top, angry. No, I guess they're not the First Order. I thought the cinematics on that with the red under the salt flat just looked so pretty, and the Junker ski speeders, ski speeders, just looked so good on those sweeping shots. That was my favorite.
Morning Coffee Run says, between Richie and Derek, who truly has the high ground?
Are we talking technically?
Probably Derek, because he's a little bit taller than I am, so I would assume him.
But as far as Star Wars knowledge goes, Richie has the high ground, because I know not nearly as much. So, all right, let's see what else we got.
The last question I think that we have on here. Hail Hydra says, who was your favorite character in The Last Jedi? I may have asked Derek before, but I'll ask again. My favorite character in the Last Jedi is probably... Okay, here's the thing. My favorite character is going to be Luke Skywalker because he's Luke Skywalker. Yeah. But if I had, but that's a little cheating, I think. My favorite character in the movie that's one of the new characters was probably Kylo Ren, because I feel like he was so much more developed in this movie than he was in The Force Awakens. Yes. I love... the whole thing where they're communicating, whether or not Snoke was truly behind that, I don't know, but I loved and even the awkward shirtless scene that everybody complains about, I thought that was hilarious. Yes. I can't wait to see them be in each other's heads more in the next one, and for them just to become one person or something. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I can't wait, and I'm excited. Like I've always said, maybe people have problems with The Last Jedi, but at least I have no idea what's going to happen next. Yep. And I'm super excited for that. And Kylo Ren, I kind of want... Let's have evil win for once. Let Kylo win.
I'd be down.
That'd be so cool.
That would be amazing.
He kills Rey. It just ends on a huge downer.
That would be so good. They would never do it, but that would be amazing. Yeah. My favorite, which you can probably guess. You gotta guess. I'm going to give you one guess.
Not the Canto Bight casino scene.
No, Holdo. My favorite is Holdo. So good.
I'll tell you what, I know it's not.
Right? Yeah, you can narrow that. You can narrow those 20 minutes out real quick. Admiral Holdo, so good. They didn't introduce her at all. And then she died. But she did the most BA thing I've ever seen in Star Wars that ever pissed anybody off ever.
Did you see
it was so good.
How it should have ended, the cartoon they just did?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's great.
We'll watch it.
We'll watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, we'll watch it. Because I want to watch it. We have a really good question from Gannon136, and then we're going to end it with Ryan Man 6000. Ready? So, Gannon136, how do you guys feel if Tamry Blagg, Broom Boy, help set up a new generation of Jedi under Rey? Do you think that character will return, or more like showing us there's more kids out there?
My bet is on JJ ignores that completely, actually.
Yep. I bet you he does not comment on it at all.
In a Rian Johnson directed episode 9, he probably would have developed Broom Kid, but JJ, based on what I know about JJ, he's going to want to just kind of sweep as much of the Rian Johnson stuff under the rug as possible and kind of get back to his vision of the characters. So we'll see. My guess is that Broom Kid he was just there for that movie and that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of a Rian Johnson little throw in at the end there. And then last question, and thank you guys all for watching today, is do you think we will ever get all the other Star Wars movies in 4K?
Certainly. No. It's possible, especially, because one of the, George Lucas converted the original trilogy to 8K back in, the 97 when he was doing the special editions. He used computers because it's Lucasfilm. They have technology that's at least 30 years ahead of our time. So back then, it's still 10 years of what we have now. They took the original 35 millimeter prints, and guys, 35 millimeter print until recently is what most movies were filmed on, unless you're you're making a spaghetti western like what's his name and filmed on 70 millimeter, or like Ben-Hur was filmed on 70 millimeter, and you have this really, really compressed film that still looks crystal clear today. It's insane. If you've not watched the original Ben-Hur in 4K, it's crazy. Anyways, my point is, yes, they can release the original Star Wars movies in 4K because they can get it up to 8K based on those original 35mm
and
prints.
that was my caveat. I don't think it's going to be 4K. It will take too long, and we will already be in 8K or 20K or 1,000 eyeball installation K, and it will be released in a better quality.
Excellent. I
think that is a fantastic end. Thank you guys, everyone here, for watching and participating. We always appreciate it on your Star Wars News Network. If you have not watched it already and you're just watching this or just joining us, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and go watch Star Wars Rebels.
Go watch it. I mean, our Rebels, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels
Star Wars Rebels Abridged.
Go watch Star Wars Rebels Abridged, episode 1 right here.
Yes.
Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. I'm Rich Alvarez. This is D-Rock. You've been watching Star Wars Hour. Anything else, D-Rock?
Nope. And as always, bye-bye.
Bye. We can't find the button. There it is. Bye.